Alright, this is the first video I've tried. If you have apple trees on your property, awesome. But as you know, they all seem to come in the fall. And also you have a ton of apples and a million other things to do. And a lot of years the apples just all end up falling and rotting. And so the purpose of this video is to show you quick and easy, efficient as I can way to make dried apples, one of my favorite things, with just basic everyday stuff. So here we go. Alright, here's the goal. Bags of dried apples. Guarantee you put a small bowl of these out, it will be gone by the end of the day. People just grab them as they go by. Here is what the key thing you're going to need is one of these, the Apple Master Slicer. And an oven, I'm going to use at least two of these in my oven, and they just need to be wide enough that when you hang apples over a middle one, it's wide enough for a whole apple to fit over. You'll see that in a second. And the advantage of this is we can do a couple dozen apples as compared to the classic style like this, which I will use for the pieces that break and stuff, but this is just a much, it's not so much that it's slow, because this is going to take a while too, but this just doesn't hold that much. Where here we're going to be able to get a lot more quantity in the same amount of time. Alright, so I don't peel them. I don't add lemon juice or sugar or cinnamon or anything. All that's fine. I just suggest you're going to be straight dried apples. Put them on. You don't have to push it all the way. It will get a little messy as you squirt stuff, so if you want a place that you can certainly get dirty. I take away the peeler function on here, which is just putting that away. And you can push this little button and get up here to save yourself some cranking time. Peel it through, pull it off. Pull this off, push it here, and now you're ready for the next one. Alright, so now I've got a few of them. You're going to have little chunks break off. Those I will throw on the old-fashioned, or I guess maybe whatever, the rack style, and I'll do those separately. And then here's the key here. You're going to make a cut on the apple, because this is all sliced now. And I want to make a cut actually on whatever the fattest part is, so that the skinny part is up so it hangs easier. Alright, and so I'm going to make a cut right here. This one's pretty even, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to take that whole apple and hang it right over the rack. Okay, so here I'll take a look at this one here. And that one's actually a little skinnier up here. So I'm actually going to cut here so the heavy part hangs down. It's just one cut. And then skip a couple and hang it over there. And we'll do that until we fill up this whole thing. Alright, now we got all the apples on here. In this case I have 16 apples. And now we gotta go through and separate them so they are, each of the slices isn't touching so they can dry better. In my oven I can do 2 of these. I think we have a split oven, so now when some of these break, that's when the ones that just go in the rack like that, because those I do both. This is picked up at a thrift store. But yeah, we'll split these all up so they're not touching. I think in a regular oven you probably could do 3 racks. We'll split those all up. Important thing, I did this wrong the other day, make sure that you have the rack set up correctly before you start loading it. If you have it upside down, then it stinks. You gotta try to flip it over and they all fall off, so that's not a great thing. Alright, and I go one lowest and then one next one up. Gentle, so you don't really want it to fall off. And I do put a baking pan underneath just to catch any strays, and that's actually what I'll dump them into after they are done drying. And then put this back in here and close it up. In this case I'm going to set it for cook time, and I'm going to start with it 12 hours. just dry away. It's nice to do this on a cold day, so you're not really wasting the heat. All right, the oven settings on mine are gonna be, I choose convection, because I have that. The lowest temperature I can go on mine is 170. And so we'll start that. If you can go lower, that's better. And because I can only go 170, then I will not shut the oven completely. I'll put this piece of tin foil here over this button, and that will keep it going, and I can shut the door on there, and that will leave a crack in there that'll let air go. And then we'll let that go for about, I think about 12 hours, depending on how many apples we have. And you can see the apples here, we have them all sliced up and ready to go in. All right, here we are, they're all loaded up. This is what it looks like in there. And now we just let them dry. All right, so it's been about 11 hours now. A little over. And they have now dried up, and you can go as long as you want with them. I don't like them super dry, so they just are powdery. And then I will take all of these, pull them off, put them in a Ziploc, throw them in the freezer, and we are good to go. I think they'll last for at least a year based on the ones that I did last year. And I think it's a quick way to handle drying apples and making use of the apples you have in the fall. All right, thanks.